friends, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what can gather. You'll feel a dream, can't you see, getting closer. Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's a picture in the pulpit and your blood devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall, it's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you wanna go where it's covered in all color lights, where the runaways are running the night? Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. Colossal we come, these renegades in the ring, where the lost get found, every crown of the circus king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding out, shining anything that you know. Just surrender, cause you're coming and you wanna go where it's covered in all color lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, intoxicating you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. When it's covered in all the color lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. It's covered in all the color lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the walls can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. 'Cause everything you want is right in front of you, and you see the impossible is coming true, and the walls can't stop us now. Yeah.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Braes High School Senior Awards Ceremony for session 2017-2018. My name is Gillian Shaw, I'm one of the Deputy Head Teachers here, and it's my honour to compare this evening's event to celebrate the success of our senior pupils. As you can see from your programme, we have a full evening ahead of us showcasing and celebrating those achievements. Before we get the evening underway, I'd like to welcome a number of people to our ceremony. Firstly, to our parents and our friends of award winners, and to members of staff, both teaching and non-teaching. We know that you'll enjoy seeing the achievements of our award winners this evening. A particular welcome to the family of Aksa Anwar, our Ducks medalist, and to the families of the winners of the Class 98 Award for Excellence in S6. We have a number of invited guests with us this evening. We have local councillors who support us throughout the year, colleagues from associated primary schools and partner agencies who work with us throughout each year, members of the Parent Council and Friends at Braes Group, as well as sponsors of prizes. We appreciate all of you coming along to support us this evening. Also, a big Braes welcome and a thank you to Mr. David Watt, who has taken time out of his busy schedule to be with us tonight and is our guest speaker. As you can see from your programme, Mr. Watt has a wealth of experience in the business sector, and we look forward to hearing from him a little later in the proceedings. And finally, a warm welcome to our award winners. This is your evening, and we're all here to celebrate your achievements. And I hope that you enjoy tonight and that further fires your ambition for the future. Before we commence with the ceremony, can I introduce you to the other members of the senior management team who are on the stage with me. On the far left, as you look, we have Mrs. Cranston, who is a resources manager. Next to her is Mrs. Drinnan, wearing her campsuit dress this evening. We then have Mr. Watt, our guest speaker, sitting next to Mrs. Cotter, Deputy Head for Pentland, and finally, sitting in the middle, Mr. Livingston, our Head Teacher. Introductions over, it's now time to get the evening properly underway with the first of our musical interludes. Aaron Short is going to play a piece called Corrado on the classical guitar. Please enjoy. Thanks again, Aaron, for that. Can I now ask Mr. Livingston to give us his report for this session? Thank you, Mr. Livingston.
Thank you very much, Gillian, and good evening, everyone. Good evening to ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and of course, to our young ladies and gentlemen, the undoubted stars of tonight's event. A prize giving is always a happy and a joyous occasion. And tonight's event is absolutely an evening of well-deserved celebration, a night of congratulation. But this evening also offers us a moment to reflect on the academic year almost gone past, and the many facets of activity and achievement that make up the rich tapestry of life here in Braes High School. Most important of all, it allows us to showcase the talents of those young people in the hall with us this evening, and to showcase those talents in many respects, but also their strong commitment to the school, the respect that they show for others around them, and also for their local community. The academic year of 2017-18 has been one of great significance for Braes High School in many respects. During last year's senior prize giving, I spoke of how pleased we were with how pupils were performing in national assessments and examinations. However, I also noted that our aspiration for Braes High School is that these elevated outcomes are not one-offs, not spikes, but are instead a regular and consistent feature of our school. And while we cannot and will not take our foot off the pedal in prioritising attainment and achievement, we can absolutely see the fruits of the labours of pupils, parents, carers and staff in the most recently published Scottish Government data. Record high levels of achievement in literacy and numeracy, our highest ever proportion of school leavers entering positive destinations, an upturn in higher education entries, and our highest ever levels of accumulated pupil attainment. These all indicate that our young people are doing themselves proud. They're responding to the efforts of school staff and, of course, the ongoing and unstinting support of their parents and carers. However, achieving this success is absolutely not about Braes High School having strong statistical performance, featuring highly in attainment tables, or indeed even thinking about pupils as year groups or cohorts. It is instead about the individual learner and the partnership that exists between home and school. It's underpinned by a resolute belief that no matter where you come from, no matter what has happened in your life or in your background, that you can achieve in Braes High School and, of course, achieve highly. It is, of course, crucial for the future of our young people that we give them every opportunity and support to maximise their potential in terms of qualifications. However, in our school, we must never forget the importance of values. What's important to us as people, as a community? Our school motto, build respect and earn success, be part of it, has long encapsulated our key values of respect for self and for others, the importance of hard work and application, and how crucial it is to contribute positively to the lives and experiences of others. This ethos is evident in the many achievements of our young people across the year, as they continue to develop and impress as well-rounded citizens. There is no greater example of this than the strong leadership shown by so many of our young people. As part of the ever-developing Pupil Leadership Academy, we've seen young people flourish in this area, such as those pupils involved in the Mark Scott Leadership Award, leading projects with community residents and transition programmes for younger pupils. In addition, we've seen our pupils lead a strong and dynamic pupil council, influencing areas of school policy and strategy, such as the structure of our S3 curriculum, how we celebrate success of young people, and how school funds are apportioned. And for the second year running, the Cluster Pupil Council also achieved great success when working with Police Scotland in developing their own award-winning Choices for Life short film, promoting healthy lifestyles. But perhaps testament to the leadership development opportunities taken by our young people is their success in the Dennis Canavan Scholarship Awards, where for the first time that I can certainly recall in consecutive years, both first and second place were taken by pupils from the same school, Braes High School. And as Braes High School, we very much recognise our role at the heart of the local community. We seek to be a good neighbour, organising regular litter picks and liaising with local business. The input of local community councils is extremely important to us, and it has been rewarding to see our young people engage with such groups across the catchment about youth provision, while also contributing positively to the smooth running of events such as the Madison Art Exhibition. But at the heart of any successful school, of course, is highly effective learning and teaching. And as head teacher of this school, I can say that it is an absolute privilege to work with such a highly committed and professional group of educators, engaging with such a pleasant and enthusiastic group of young people. The impact of this combination is plain to see, yes, in the outcomes for our young people, but also in the growing number of occasions where practice in Braes High School is being identified and emulated elsewhere. Helping young people develop as responsible global citizens has again been a key feature this year. Building on our recently attained status as a United Nations rights-respecting school, our pupils and staff have led us well on the way to achieving LGBT Charter Mark status. The school was also pleased to be commended for its work on remembering genocide in Srebrenica, with visits to the Scottish Parliament and national awards part of this process. I'm always struck by the humanity, the kindness, and the compassion and respect for others that our young people show. And in an age when sometimes these qualities can at times seem in short supply, it is both heartening and reassuring to see these qualities in Braes pupils. And I, for one, would argue vehemently that the future is safe in your hands. Nowhere are these qualities more evident than in the work of Braes pupils in supporting local charities. Impressed by their smart appearance, their good manners and their generosity, it has restored our faith in teenagers, especially yours, a really impressive school. Not my words, but the words of a member of the public, a retired minister who took the time to write to the school reflecting on his experience of meeting Braes High School pupils. And although the staff at Strathcarron Hospice are probably used to receiving large donations to support their excellent work, I think that even they were pleasantly surprised to receive a sum totalling several thousands of pounds, the product of fundraising led and directed by our young people. A member of the Strathcarron staff was motivated to write to the school about the visit of our pupils to the hospice, noting, "Your pupils were excellent yesterday. So impressed. They were mature, respectful, interested, and honest." And for the staff of Braes High School, the support shown across the year for charities such as Strathcarron and Macmillan means a great deal, as we remember the sad passing of Margaret Branscombe, our much respected and sorely missed colleague. So this evening, we reflect on the themes evident across the year past, and particularly pleasing has been the continued strong emphasis within our school on the promotion of creativity. With a vibrant and award-winning art and design department, leading the development of a designated creative learning space, a newly formed creative faculty with a clear remit to champion and broaden approaches to creative thinking across the curriculum, and high-quality musical performances from our pupils, well coached and prepared by a committed music team, It is clear we are building in this regard from a position of strength. And likewise, anyone who has witnessed the multitude of fantastic drama performances across the session will agree that the drama department and Braes Youth Theatre are in rude health. And although this year we will bid farewell to some star performers in S6, it is clear that the next generation of stage stars are waiting in the wings. We are, of course, privileged to have with us this evening our guest speaker, Mr. David Watt, Executive Director of the Institute of Directors Scotland, an organisation very prominent in influencing government business policy and representing the needs and aspirations of Scottish business at all levels. David is accompanied by his wife Maggie, and we welcome them both to our school. And I'm sure that in the course of the many events, meetings and conversations that David is involved in with high-profile business leaders, politicians, entrepreneurs and business groups, that he will often have the opportunity to reflect on what traits successful leaders have, whatever their field. And I'm willing to bet that very high up on that list is the trait of creativity. And ladies and gentlemen, I would say to you that those young people sitting in the front rows of the hall this evening, they are the future leaders of our nation across the full gamut of arenas. And it's their diligence, their commitment and their creativity that will shape our futures. Similarly, no account of the year past would be complete without reference to the high profile that sporting endeavour plays within our school life. This session, it's been pleasing to see a significant and continuing growth in participation in gymnastics and in various forms of dance. And anyone who witnessed the dance showcase this session cannot fail to have been impressed. And it's been great to hear of the multiple successes our young people have had at national level in such disciplines. Also noteworthy was the success of our S1 football team, who made it all the way to the final of the Forth Valley Cup final before being narrowly beaten. And although our other teams did not make it through to the final stages of competitions, it is always a pleasure to see the ethos of fair play, the Braes way that is instilled in each team, with respect for opponents and officials paramount. Each year, we seem to say goodbye to one set of strong basketballers, only for them to be replaced by another group of pupils who take things on to a new level. An unforgettable moment this year was the remarkable victory over Falkirk High School in the Scottish Cup. An electric atmosphere in the Games Hall, with passionate supporters of both schools urging their teams on, taking place against a backdrop of previous heartache for the Braes players in matches between these two most talented local sides. However, the victory was not what made this moment unforgettable. Rather, the manner of the performances of both teams made it the triumph that it was. With sporting behaviour, respect for one another, and sheer grit and determination to do all you could for your team among the hallmarks of that evening. And it's these qualities that sum up for me why school sport is so important. You don't have to be the most talented or the most gifted or the most athletic. Just ask the staff football team. More important is simply having a desire to succeed. The will to put in the effort that will bring you the rewards, and of course to never, ever give up. And these are all attributes that I would urge our young people to adopt, whatever challenges they face. It's also the time of year when we see changes to staffing within our school. And it's very clear that we will significantly miss the talents of Mr. Willie Gavin of the Biology Department. Willie has taught at Braes for the duration of the school's history, and before that at Woodlands High School. A trusted and respected staff representative, Willie has always shown a great commitment to our young people here in Braes, both in his contributions within the classroom and science faculty, but also more recent in sporting extracurricular pursuits. When others may be winding down towards retirement, Willie has initiated a growing martial arts club, impressing the young people with his skill and coaching ability. In addition, we also wish Miss Mags Norris of our History Department all the best in her forthcoming retirement. Mags has been with the school since 2000, and before that was an integral member of the Woodland staff. It is difficult to imagine a more pupil-centred teacher than Mags, and countless young people have benefited from a captivating, interesting and engaging teaching style. I know the high esteem in which Mags is held by her colleagues, pupils and parents, and although we are sad to see her go, we absolutely wish her all the best for the future. Similarly, we say goodbye at the end of the session to Mr. Tommy McKinley. Tommy has been our Faculty Head of Home Economics, Art and Design and Technology since 2004, and prior to that, Principal Teacher of Technical Education. Tommy has also been with Braes since our inception and at Woodlands prior to that, and throughout that time has enjoyed a stellar career, leading his faculty with determination, thoughtfulness and with impact. It would be impossible to count how many young people will have been inspired by Tommy's teaching over the years, and no doubt he is responsible for the chosen career paths of so many current designers, engineers and craftspeople, including one who later went on to design and construct elements of the Scottish Parliament. A leading figure within the Scottish Qualifications Authority in his field, I know Tommy will be missed by fellow managers, staff and pupils alike, and we wish him well in his retirement. Joining Mags, Tommy and Willie in retirement, and I promise we will have some teachers left in August, is Stuart Robertson, our Pastoral Head of Oakle House. Stuart joined Braes High School in 2004, taking up the demanding and crucial role of Pastoral Head. And although I had worked with Stuart before in a previous school and was acutely aware of the high level of ability and energy that he brings to that role, I quickly became aware in joining Braes myself of the high esteem in which Stuart is held by pupils, colleagues and parents alike. And this is due to Stuart's approach when supporting young people. It's based on mutual respect, understanding, compassion and a huge amount of common sense. A great sounding board for colleagues, bringing healthy doses of reality to professional dialogue. Stuart is a much valued and respected colleague, and it will be odd to begin the new session in August without his wisdom and experience, as it will be for all of the members of staff that I have just mentioned. So ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to show your appreciation in the usual fashion? Thank you, a very deserved round of applause there. This evening we celebrate the success of our young people, and quite rightly they are at the centre of our attention tonight. However, it would be wrong not to acknowledge the critical role played by families in supporting the learning of our young people. And in the hall this evening we've got parents and carers, grandparents, aunts and uncles and many others who form part of the family around our young people. Tonight's prize giving is also a celebration of your support for your young person, a recognition of the encouragement, the cajoling and the consistent praise that you offer to your young people. It's a recognition of the aspiration that you've instilled in your young people, the boundaries that you've set for them, and of course the many times that you will no doubt have picked up the pieces when things have gone wrong. And as a parent myself, I know firsthand the emotional commitment that you all invest in your families, and the success that we will salute on this stage tonight would simply not be possible without your ongoing love, care and support for your young people. It's also right that we acknowledge the role of our parent carer groups within Braes High School. We're fortunate in Braes to have two influential and supportive groups for parents and carers. Our Parent Council, ably led by Mr Kevin Mackay, who have this year again been deeply involved in influencing school decision making, work well in tandem with Friends at Braes, our parent-led fundraising group. Again this year, invaluable financial and practical support has been offered by this group, and I would pay tribute to our outgoing chair, Lynn Robertson, and Vice Chair, Fiona Davidson. Although FAB is very much a team effort, Lynn's leadership and Fiona's unstinting commitment have benefited the school in ways too many to mention, and I look forward to seeing Friends at Braes continue to develop in the coming years. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to show your support for our parent groups? So this evening we celebrate the success of our senior pupils. And while tonight we will recognise that success very much through the lens of academic achievement, we are in reality acknowledging a great deal more than that. Yes, doing well in exams is important. Let's never be afraid to emphasise that. But let us also appreciate what gets young people to that point of success, celebrating every single step forward they take, every single achievement that they gather, and every single hurdle and challenge they overcome. Because by doing so, we help our young people develop that most valuable of attributes, a growth mindset, believing that we can realise our ambitions, we can make the most of our talents, we can deal with setbacks, and we can succeed. And there's a quote often used for motivation by an unknown thinker which states, "When the world says give up, hope whispers to you, try it one more time." And that's the key message I'd give to our young people this evening. Yes, you will hear many people in your life urging you to work hard, to be disciplined, to be conscientious. But of course, as successful learners, you already know the importance of that advice. However, I would ask you to please also remember that as you progress through life, there will be bumps in the road and that things will get tough at times. Most crucial of all is staying the course, not being afraid of making mistakes and learning from those, believing in yourself, and of course remembering never, ever to give up. And when those difficult times come along, those dangerous moments, when you have to make decisions that seem almost impossible, perhaps it's something to do with your studies or your group of friends, in the workplace, on a night out, whatever it is, reflect on the values you've developed here at Braes High School. Respect for others, certainly, but also respect for yourself. So to conclude, we look forward to the prize giving this evening, during the Year of Young People, celebrating the success of our pupils, but also as an opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate their leadership, their humanity, the joy that they bring us, and the hope that they give for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Livingston. And as he said, this evening is very much about success and recognition. So to continue our celebrations this evening, we have another musical interlude, and this time we're going to plug in the electric guitar for Caleb Bishop, who's going to play Danny California. If you could give him a
Mississippi,
Thank you for that, Caleb. It's now time for me to invite our much anticipated guest speaker, Mr. Watt, to take the stage. Please give him a warm brace welcome.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just turning on my microphone, but the last time I was speaking, somebody asked me to turn it off again, so I'm just Anyway, I'm delighted to be here. It's a great long time since I was at the school prize giving. I once got a prize for sport. Not you would know it now, but I'll dwell on that a little bit in a minute or two. I wanted to spend some time. I've got a fantastic job. I'm the Executive Director of the Institute of Directors in Scotland, which means I educate, entertain, inform and represent about 1,800 company directors across Scotland. It's just an amazing job. It's brilliant. I never thought I'd be here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got here, which is an interesting story, and I hope will shine some light for these talented young people in the room, and maybe even for some of the more talented older people in the room, because I deal with some of them day in, daily as well. I spend my life with politicians and first ministers and prime ministers and various odd people like that. But most exciting for me is spending my time with young business people who are inventing new honey recipes to rival Manuka honey, or who are working in new popcorn, which was just launched a fortnight ago. Sydney, an astonishing young woman who's doing brilliant stuff. So it's really a really interesting job. Anyway, I've been told to cut my speech down to 45 minutes, so I managed to do that okay. Seriously, I'm a great believer of, well, most of you won't remember an American president called Dwight Eisenhower who said that no speech can't be improved by being shortened. So I'll try and follow that dictum. Also, you've got to understand, I'm extremely nervous up here tonight because I'm a Kilmarnock supporter, which is not very popular in Falkirk, but also this is a very big crowd for me. But no, I also... I shouldn't actually say that because we're sitting 5th in the Premier League. This is the first time in living memory that's happened. I'm so old I can remember when Kilmarnock had a good football team, but that was quite a long time ago. Anyway, rather bizarrely, I started life as a teacher of physical education. As I say, not you would know to look at me now. In fact, my sporting prowess was pretty limited. I played rugby for about 30 years, pretty badly for various clubs. I was once described as deceptively slow, which is fairly accurate. And I now play golf fairly badly as well, as my wife found out again at the weekend sort of thing. But sport's been my life in large part until I came to this rather strange job I'm at. And what's particularly maybe a story again for the young people, as you go to college or university and you apply to get in. Unfortunately, my father died when I was really about 4 years old, and I never really knew him actually. But my mother was a very special woman, and she brought me up spectacularly well, along with my other brother, who was a bit of a pain in the neck and battered me for most of my early youth, as boys do with brothers, as you know. Anyway, when I went to an interview for college physical education, I didn't really get a proper interview. A really special gentleman called Hugh Brown, who's the father actually of Craig Brown, the football manager, said to me, "David, if you're half as good a person as your mother are, you'll be fine for me," because he was so impressed that she'd brought up these two recalcitrant young men and got them to a level where one went to university and one went to college as well. And that's really how I sneaked in the door. It wasn't for my physical ability. It was more for my attitude. And I remember that as well, because Hugh Brown selected teachers of physical education on their attitude, not their prowess, and I think that's really important. It's a lesson that stuck with me all my life. Attitude is more important than ability. I also spent a good part of my life coaching gymnasts to a fairly significant level, sort of Commonwealth Games level. In fact, I should have been in the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, but missed it. I'll tell you about that later if you want. But I've always found that some gymnasts who I never thought in the early days were going to be the stars became the stars because they worked harder than anybody else and they had the correct attitude to delivery. And again, that's lasted with me all my days, really, as well. I was going to tell you as well, I was also funny story. I was watching the London Marathon at the weekend. You watched that? You see, there's a guy who ran 26 miles dressed as a chicken, okay? And when he got to the finish, they wrapped him in a foil blanket. You don't think that was a bit strange? Anyway, never mind. I digress. So after life as a PE teacher, I moved to Fife, actually, to become a leisure manager in an educational sports centre. which was phenomenal for me. Gave me a bit more money, took my family with me, had a great time actually, enjoyed it very much, and got involved coaching gymnastics, basketball and various other things as well. Great time. But then I decided after a number of years that the public sector wasn't for me, and being a teacher, that's why I'm so healthy now. I've given up being a teacher. I feel a lot better now. I've recovered my sanity and my... Anyway, I went off and I decided, I've had enough here, I'm not challenged. I'm going to go and set up my own business in sport and leisure. I started to write a couple of books, actually, one in sports management and administration and another one in events, and fortunately they were published. And somebody said, why don't you go and do training courses in this space and do consultancy with sports organisations? So I went off and did that for 15 years. It was absolutely brilliant, really good. Working for yourself is the best fun you can ever have. Okay, with your clothes on. It's really brilliant, it's really good. And I would recommend to everybody, it's the most demanding thing because at the end of the month you've got to pay your mortgage and nobody else is paying it for you, no employer, you've got to pay it yourself. It's really hard work, but it's great fun. And it's also very character building because you work 24/7, as most of my 1,800 members do in business, which sometimes have a hard time. But if you're in business, you have to work literally 24/7 and be available 24/7, and you're thinking about it all the time. And that's a useful lesson as well. So I think that's a good point as well. So I went off, did one thing. I was going to say also, was a trampoline salesman, but that was a bit up and down. Anyway, so you get, that's what they call a Royal Mail joke. You'll get it in the morning. Anyway, no, I think moving on to other things I also broke off a part of my self-employment working for something called the New Millennium Experience Company, which is a company that helped Scotland celebrate the millennium. We spent over £100 million in Scotland in millennium activities and constructs, and we had a great time doing it as well, all over Scotland. We toured all over Scotland. It was fantastic, great things that went on as well. I was linked to the dome. I should say I wasn't responsible for building it, but I was on it. I was one of the first people to walk on top of it. And sorry, for those in the front rows, the dome is actually the O2 Arena, to be fair. And I've been down there at World Championship Gymnastics and the Olympic Games as well. It's an amazing place. It's been brilliant. So I went off and did that. And worked in the Millennium and met so many interesting people, and in part of that I joined the Institute of Directors. And then I became a volunteer committee member of the Institute of Directors, and then the director retired. And over 10 years ago now, when he retired, I applied for and was lucky enough to get this fantastic job I've got now. And as I say, I spend my time speaking to people. I was just come out of a meeting in the Parliament before I came here. I'm all over the place. It's a fantastic job. I meet so many interesting people. But never when I went to Jordan Hill College all these years ago to be a PE teacher did I think I would get to that as well. It's just been quite astonishing. And I think, bluntly, the world's your oyster. I'm also one of my generation, quite unusually, I'm a portfolio career person. Many people in this room will have had a career that's lasted all their life. I've not had that. And bluntly, none of you will have that. It's not going to happen to the younger generation. You will change jobs regularly throughout your career, and that's something you have to think about now. Absolutely go off and study or go into a job as an early stage, learn your trade, learn your academic work, whatever you choose to do, but your life will blossom and change in many different ways, probably even more than the life has changed for people in the rest of this room because they've had a relatively stable life. Technology and disruptive technologies can completely change your life. It's already starting to change your life, and I'll talk about a couple of examples of that later on as well. But I've also had amazing experience as well. I now have the great pleasure of being an honorary colonel in the Royal Marine Reserves in Scotland, which apart from having 4 very nice uniforms in wardrobe, always mean that meets some just astonishing people who are Royal Marines, who are very fit, healthy, sometimes fairly aggressive, but not with me, with the enemy, and really know how to party as well, by the way. But I thought I would just read you the Royal Marines. It's well worth, you can look at it on the website, the Royal Marine website, but the commando mindset, and I think it's just brilliant. Be the first to understand, the first to adapt and respond, and the first to overcome. And it's really good. Now, you don't think of that about being military, but bear in mind, when the latest storm hit the Caribbean, the first people on the ground were Royal Marines, and they had to be the first to respond, adapt, and overcome the challenges to help the people there as well. It's an amazing career that these guys have got as well, and that's shortly to be open to women come this September as well. It's also a brilliant egalitarian organisation, because if you can do the commando test, you're in, and if you can't, you're out. So it's a real physical challenge, but it's an interesting lesson as well about how we are tested for life as well. Anyway, so a little bit before I finish really about the future. I'm just looking for my other job list as well. No, actually, I mentioned American presidents earlier on. Did you hear, by the way, there was a fire in Donald Trump's library, and both the books were burnt, including the one he was colouring in at the time. I thought it was quite good. Anyway, in my career, I've had a number of opportunities, and I've jumped about from place to place. And I was relating this story to a young guy who was doing a work experience with us a couple of years ago. And I said, I've been really, really lucky. And he said to me, no, you haven't. You've made your own luck. When opportunities came along, you've taken them and you've moved in a completely different direction, quite often risking literally your house, your mortgage, and even your future, and doing things. You've taken on an opportunity that's come your way. And again, I would call upon you to really think about that. When you get the chance, think about doing it, but also think about, in 10 years' time, if I didn't do that, what would I think? What would I look back and say? And I've taken all these various opportunities to come my way. And it's something, the motto of the Commonwealth Games Council for Scotland, actually the Commonwealth team that's just come back very successfully from Gold Coast, is Carpe Diem. For those of you who are Latin students will know that means seize the day. In other words, grasp the opportunity when it comes your way. I'm absolutely fascinated by the future, probably because each day I'm going to see a bit less of it. You guys are going to see tons of it. It will be brilliant. It will be brilliant. It's challenging, it's different, but it's going to be fantastic. You have things coming your way I could only dream of as well. Things have moved actually quite a long way. I'm so old I can actually remember a phone when you actually dialed the numbers and you lifted it and it had a wire connection and things like that as well. Things you wouldn't even dream of using as well. But nowadays it's going to move even faster. We had a brilliant guy called Peter Schwartz, who's the futurologist for Salesforce, the second largest data sourcing company in the world. Comes from California. Peter, I love him to death because he's the futurologist for Salesforce, this big company, and he's the oldest person in the company, 70 years old. But he came to our conference a couple of years ago and told us some absolutely lovely stories about how the future is going to be. And what really struck me was the time scales he gave. And basically what he's saying is the future is now. He told stories about driverless lorries, driverless cars, which we've got already. And then people asked him, when are we going to have driverless lorries on the roads? And he said, maximum 2025, okay? Or 2023 in America, okay? That's tomorrow, basically. It's not far away. Might seem a long way to you now, but in a few years' time it will be very quick. The other fantastic story he told was, and it's quite ironic since we're in the process of building a dual carriageway to Inverness from Perth in Scotland, okay? The plan is to have it finished by 2030, okay? A good number in this room might not see 2030. Anyway, but the other irony of it is that by that time, I genuinely believe we will all be in flying cars, okay? Which you only saw in science fiction a little while ago. But you can actually, if you have £400,000 and a driving licence and a commercial pilot's licence, you can already buy a flying car. Okay? I'm not quite sure where you can use it, but you can buy a flying car. So they're available now. It's not tomorrow's technology, it's today's technology. It's only a matter of when it comes down to being a bit cheaper, like mobile phones have done, that we're all going to be able to do that and afford it. So it's really an interesting place, the future, and it's coming very fast just now. And really, in closing, I would say, what do you need for the future? Number one thing is you need education. You need flexibility and adaptation. You need to be flexible and really regard learning as a lifelong activity, and it genuinely is. I learn something new every single day I've been on this planet. It's just brilliant. There's so many new things to learn, okay? It's quite easy for me because I'm waking up stupid every morning. But generally speaking, you just learn something new. Learn from your mother, father, auntie, whoever. And actually, some old people know something, believe it or not, but they do. Learn from anybody, but also learn from young people. First Minister, for example, has got a young woman who mentors her. She's learning from her about what young people do, really, day to day. But learn wherever you can. Take that opportunity. I have so much fun learning from people like Peter Schwartz at 70, or Sydney in her popcorn, who's a long way from 70. It's a great opportunity for me. Unlike my rugby, get yourself fit. And I mean physically fit, but also mentally fit for what you're going to do. Because you will not be in one career all your life. You will be chopping and changing, you'll be moving from here to there. So don't believe you're going to be a chemist. One of my favourite chemists, actually, bought a bed and breakfast and started cooking the dinners because he liked chemistry, okay? And he became the best cook in the area. He doesn't do chemistry anymore, he does bed and breakfast. You know, so skills are transferable, and that's what life's going to be like for you. So the answer is really just go for it. Just do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. You can do anything you want to do. Look at silly old me. You started life as a drilly, okay? A jumping teacher, we used to call them, okay? A teacher of physical education, and I ended up in a nice job with a fairly amazing span of influence and opportunity. It's been great. And my final thought to leave with you really is that I genuinely believe that you're put on this planet to make other people's lives better, okay? So don't be selfish. Certainly be selfish and be driven and achieve, but achieve for your family, achieve for your children, achieve for your friends. Do things for them, care for them, and look after them. That's why we're all here. Otherwise, there isn't much point in it. But I wish you all the best of luck, and congratulations to all these many winners. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was a fantastic speech, which was both entertaining and insightful. I'm sure you'll agree. We're glad that you didn't turn your mic off and had fun, even with your clothes on. Now to the presentation of awards. I'd like to invite Mr. Watt again to come forward and present the awards, with Mrs. Cotter, who will assist him, and Mrs. Cranston, who will direct our pupils on stage. Okay, first up, with a Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Biology, Zainab Aslam. For a Certificate of Outstanding Effort in PE, Jack Calvert. For a Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Design and Manufacture and for Mathematics Applications, Sarah Heron. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance for RMPS and for Mathematics, Amy Hislop. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Geography, Liam MacDonald. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for English, Jack McManus. Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Biology and Drama and Outstanding Performance in English, Natasha Watson. Certificate of Outstanding Effort for English and Spanish and Outstanding Performance for History and Mathematics, Simran Ali. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance in English and Outstanding Performance in RMPS, Caris McFarlane. For the Certificate of Outstanding Effort in Modern Studies, Amy Howarth. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for English, Luke Swan. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance for English, Niamh Gorton. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Chemistry and Outstanding Effort for People and Society, Charlie McAllister. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance in Biology, Katie McEwen. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Biology, Chemistry, English, Physics and Geography, Kirsty Ray. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Health Sector, Caitlin Bennett. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Art and Design and for PE, Caris Borgresh. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Chemistry, Computing Science, Music, Physics and Mathematics, Aaron Short. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Art and Design and Outstanding Performance in Business Management, Caitlin Spence. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Art and Design, English, History and PE, and Outstanding Effort for Performance in Graphics and Mathematics, Roxana Stepnowska. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance in PE, Zoe Young. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Chemistry, English, German and Mathematics, and Effort in RMPS, Amy Angus. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Modern Studies, Lucy Marshall. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for English, Mia Arnott. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for PE, Music Technology and Outstanding Performance for Mathematics Applications, Rory Johnson. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for People and Society, William Jones. The Best of You Achievement Award goes to Megan McEwen. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Modern Studies and the Best of You Achievement Award, Jordan Montgomery. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for English and Outstanding Performance in Practical Cookery, Amy Wood. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for French, Emily Jinks. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Biology, Chemistry, English, French, Physics and Mathematics, Aidan Jordan. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Business Management, Shannon MacLeod. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Mathematics, Jack Mason. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for English, Outstanding Performance for Mathematics and for Music, Nikki McRae. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for PE, Rachel Meekham. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for English, Craig Ritchie. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Music Technology, Laura Smith. We're now on to our S5 awards. With a higher certificate for Geography, Lucy Cummings. The Certificate for Chemistry, Mathematics and Outstanding Achievement for Pupil Support, Adam Hughes. The higher prize for Design and Manufacture, Joshua Kirkland. The higher certificate for Computing Science, Callum Laird. For the Certificate of Outstanding Achievement in Pupil Support, Harry Mitchell. We'll come back to Harry. For the Certificate of Outstanding Effort for French, Sophie Osborne. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Pupil Support, Nathan Scott. For the higher prize for graphics, Jack Stevenson. For the Certificate of Outstanding Performance for French, Sarah Tate. For the higher prize for German and the Sports Leader Award, Thomas Boyle. Do we have Harry now? Grand. Okay, again, can I ask you to invite Harry Mitchell on stage for his Certificate of Outstanding Achievement in Pupil Support. The higher prize for Chemistry, the Joseph Benny Memorial Quaich for English, and the higher certificate for Physics, Jenny Donaghy. Leiden. The higher prize for Computing Science, Cameron Potter. The higher certificate for Drama and the higher certificate for French, Jenna Riach. The higher certificate for Business Management, Kieran Anderson. The higher prize for Drama and the Hazel McFarlane Trophy for Geography, Ryan Baff. The higher certificate for English, Anthony Evans. The higher prize for Modern Studies, Sophie Kelly. The Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Woodworking is Russell Reyes. The National 5 Certificate for Laboratory Science is Lorna Winning. We have a long list here. The higher certificate for English, the higher prize for Human Biology, the higher prize for Mathematics, the Jackson Hughes Trophy for Mathematics, and the higher prize for Physics, Aksa Anwar. The higher prize for Art and Design, Emily Keith. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for People and Society, Tony McAllister. And for our Sports Leader Award, Lara Pitcaithley. The National 5 Certificate for Chemistry, Ryan Quinn. The James B. Yates Shield for Art and Design, Ailey Wallace. The Higher Certificate for Modern Studies, the Dance Leader Award and Outstanding Sporting Achievement Award goes to Ellie Wood. Okay, we're now on to our 6 years awards. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort and Performance for Computing Science, Kevin Allison. The Sheila Stewart Trophy for Chemistry and the Advanced Higher Prize for Mathematics, Lucy Buchan. The Advanced Higher Certificate for French and the Donald Cameron Shield for Music, Rachel Calvert. The National 5 Certificate for Music, Amy Davidson. The Higher Certificate for Graphics and the National 5 Certificate for Practical Cake Craft, Scott Docherty. The Higher Certificate for Drama, Tommy Grice. The Higher Certificate for German, Connor Hartel. The Advanced Higher Certificate for Music, the Linda Muir Cup for Music, and the SFA Refereeing Achievement Award goes to Josh Heggie. Sorry Josh, apologies. The Advanced Higher Prize for History, Luke Kirby. The Higher Prize for Spanish, Christy Marshall. The Advanced Higher Prize for Physics, Ramsey Reynolds. The Advanced Higher Prize for Chemistry, Daniel Burrow. The Higher Prize for French, the Advanced Higher Prize for Music, and the Linda Muir Cup for Music goes to Emma Eaton. The Advanced Higher Certificate for Chemistry goes to Scott Lothian. The National 5 Certificate for Practical Cookery goes to Maya Morrison. The Higher Prize for Business Management, the Class of '98 Cup for Computing Science and Advanced Higher Prize for Computing Science, Nathan Anderson. The Rankin Trophy, Essex Achievement in English, and the National 5 Certificate for Physics, Corey Emsley. The higher prize for PE goes to Hazel McNeil. The Advanced Higher Prize for English, Advanced Higher Prize for Modern Studies, the Higher Prize for Music and the Higher Prize for RMPS goes to Neve Waddle. The HP McCulloch Award for Drama is Alicia Warner. The Higher Certificate for Music goes to Caleb Bishop. The Certificate of Outstanding Effort for Pupil Support goes to Alison Cleland. The Higher Prize for History goes to Craig Coghill. The Higher Certificate for Human Biology, the Advanced Higher Certificate for Physics, and the Higher Certificate for RMPS goes to Christine Jaffrey. The Advanced Higher Prize for Biology, the Prize for French, and the Higher Certificate for Spanish goes to Hayley Smith. And last but certainly not least, the National 5 Certificate for Music Technology goes to Kerr Smith. We're now going to move on to our special award winners. And our first special award this evening is for Outstanding Sporting Achievement, which this year goes to Ellie Wood. Ellie has... Sorry. Tried to do it fast. Ellie has had an extremely successful year competing with the McKechnie School of Dance. She's won numerous competitions in tap and Highland dancing, with her most notable wins including the SDTA Central Scotland Tap Champion, the City of Glasgow Tap Champion, third overall at the All England Highland Championships. She was the Scottish National Highland Champion and the BATD Premiership winner. Whilst competing in competitions out with school, Ellie has also committed her time to representing Braes High School at the Forth Valley Dance Competition as a competitor and is also a choreographer. And finally, in January 2018, Ellie qualified to compete for Team Scotland at the Dance World Cup in Spain this year, a fantastic achievement, and all while studying for 5 Highers. So can we now give a warm welcome to we invite Ellie onto the stage. The Anne Spears Cup goes to a pupil who's contributed massively to the whole school community. And this year it goes to Scott Ritchie. Scott is our resident DJ and runs Braes Beat, our school radio system. He was responsible for many firsts at Braes, including most recently Braes Beat Live. He's also involved in staging and sound for shows, discos and presentations, even for this evening. He's made a significant contribution to Braes High School, so can I please ask you to welcome Scott onto the stage, please. The Robertson Trophy goes to our outgoing school captains who have led our senior pupil leadership programme this year, supported by their vice captains, house captains and leadership captains. As a token of our appreciation for their hard work, can I invite Hayley Smith and Scott Docherty to collect the Robertson Trophy. Our next award is the Smiley Award for Overcoming Barriers to Learning. And this year, this award goes to Kevin Allison. Can you give him a warm welcome, please? The Class of 98 Excellence Award goes to a 6-year pupil who has excelled with advanced higher studies. And this year, as was the case last session, we've had joint winners for this prize. 2 girls who have excelled in their advanced higher courses and studies this year. Can I invite both Hayley Smith and Neve Waddle to the stage? Finally, a very special moment. You will have heard the long list of prizes given to this particular pupil for excellence in her prelim exams earlier in tonight's ceremony. And this success has led to this pupil being awarded the Ducks Medal. So can I ask all of you to be upstanding? If we please welcome our School Ducks 2017-2018, Aksa Anwar. We are heading towards the end of our ceremony this evening, so can I ask our school captains, Scott Docherty and Hayley Smith, to come forward and give the vote of thanks for tonight's event.
Good evening. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Scott Docherty and this is Hayley Smith, and we're the current Braes High School captains.
We would like to start by saying well done to all of the pupils who have been presented with awards this evening. This is a reflection of the hard work and the determination shown by the senior students here at Braes High School, and we urge you to use this success as motivation as we approach our final exams.
We would also like to acknowledge the Friends at Braes Group who do a wonderful job throughout the year, raising funds and providing support at various school events. We have to say a big thank you to Lynn Robertson and Fiona Davidson, who after 6 years on the committee will be sadly retiring at the end of the session. I'd like you both to make your way to the stage to receive a small token of our thanks.
Our guest speaker tonight, Mr. David Watt, as I'm sure you'll all agree, has been fantastic. So we would like to hand over a small gift to both Mr. and Mrs. Watt to say thank you for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here with us this evening. With us. Thank you. No, thank you.
We must say a big thank you to all the parents, carers, family and friends who have joined us tonight to celebrate the success of our young people. It is also great to have a large number of our teachers here, and we thank them for their continued support and encouragement over the past year, which has helped us to make the achievements possible. The office staff also deserve a big thank you for all the work that goes on behind the scenes to allow a night like this to run smoothly.
We'll now pass you back to Mrs Shaw, who will conclude our awards ceremony. And so on behalf of the entire school captain team, we want to say a final thank you to everyone involved tonight, and well done again to all of our award winners.
Note to self, remember to turn off your mic when you go backstage. Now to complete our musical entertainment and to bring the ceremony to a close, we're going to hear a medley mix from 3 of our S6 pupils, Rachel Calvert on clarinet, Emma Eaton on piano and Josh Heggie on the saxophone. This is a very special piece because they actually worked together to arrange this medley by themselves. The music department unwillingly gave them free range. So please give them a warm welcome. achieved this excellently and not an easy task in front of such a large audience. So can I ask you to thank them and all the staff from the music department who have worked with the pupils and have supported them tonight with another round of applause. All the best for the future. As phrased by David Watt this evening, as you go forward, don't forget to respond, adapt and overcome any challenge or opportunity that life throws at you. Just do it. It's been my pleasure to be your host this evening, and I hope you've enjoyed the night as much as we all have. Can I now invite you out into the social area for some small refreshments and nibbles. Thank you for your continued support.